if you were to take a dash of Gauntlet, a hint of Lagoon, and throw it into a vat of D&D fantasy, the outcome would undoubtedly be Crystal Beans from Dungeon Explorer. This seemingly unknown action RPG from our friends at Hudson delivers the essential of a fantasy quest where good must triumph over evil. It's all here: dungeon crawling, monster slaying, and a world that needs saving. Of course, we need heroes to do it, so you and up to 2 other players can choose from a ragtag group of heroes to take on Daemonth, whose evil reign has unleashed the 15 demons sealed away in the various parts of Grandel. Whether you're casting fireballs, swinging a sword, or shooting arrows, you'll have no trouble as Crystal Beans combat is straightforward yet solid. B shoots a ranged attack, which based on the footage alone you can tell is the main method of damage dealing. And Y is a defensive spin attack that proves effective in specific situations, but not so much in others. My comparison to Gauntlet is apt, as combat is pretty much taken straight from it, right down to being able to fire in all directions and enemies constantly spawning from portals. While the copycat combat isn't a bad thing, as it works just fine and caters to the pick up and play style the game is going for, it does feel a bit shallow. Even with the addition of vials of black magic to cast ruthless blows on bigger enemies, potions to heal you in tight situations, cloaks of invisibility, and shot power-ups, it still seems like things could have been improved upon. Plus, magic and potions are all lost once you bite the dust, despite having numerous lives. So remember to use them while you still can. Regardless of my grumbles, tearing enemies to shreds and filling them full of arrows isn't any less fun than it sounds. Your journey through Grandel will take you far and wide, from the treachery and darkness stowed away in the enchanted forest, the unexpected innards of the desert temple, and to the unrelenting horrors that await you in the subterranean tunnel. While I can't call the levels linear as they do branch off and spread out, they're not as daunting as they seem, as paths tend to lead off to goodies or to a nearby part of the level, so making your way to the end of a dungeon isn't a particularly tough ordeal. Plus, as the game goes on, the levels get shorter. Take Dracula's Castle for example. It's full of annoying enemies and easily the most annoying boss, but the whole thing can be traversed in about a minute and a half if you know where to go. Thankfully, the developers supplement the rather simple designs with little gimmicks here and there, like warp pad puzzles, flame walls, and various traps to keep you on your toes. Speaking of design, I feel that the game's graphics are a definite weak point. They aren't terrible, but for 95, they're certainly mediocre. Just look at A Link to the Past from 4 years earlier, or other Hudson games of the time. Not to say they don't get the job done, as levels look fine, as do enemies, but a little extra detail could have gone a long way. Thankfully, not all is disappointing in this department, as the infamous 15 demons scattered across the land are a sight to see and slay. From dungeon to dungeon, these mighty foes never disappointed, as each fight was more exhilarating and fun to overcome than the last. And trust me, you'll never stop hearing about these 15 demons, as it's all the town people rave about. Hey, can you take care of the 15 demons? Have you heard of Dryad? He's one of the 15 demons. Help, my friend got captured by one of the 15 demons. Even the demons introduce themselves as one of the 15 demons. I did call this an action RPG as it borrows quite a few elements from the genre. It starts with the character you pick, as they all don different stats which are upgradable throughout the game. Upon defeating a demon, a crystal is left behind which will change colors, and each color corresponds to one of your 4 stats. So if your character is slow, then upgrade their agility stat. Although I highly recommend upgrading your attack, as it's most important, and later in the game you can usually tough out bosses with enough lives. You also level up with each boss fight, which only increases your health, but it's a nice touch. Another cool addition is being able to switch between characters. So if you no longer want to be a wizard, head back to the first castle and switch. You'll retain your level and will be able to redistribute all of the crystals you currently have. As stated, there are towns you have to visit along the way. This is where the bulk of the paper-thin story is told. Townspeople, for the most part, only exist to progress said story, but there are a few well-written NPCs that set up things for later in the game or just add fun little quirks. For example, this girl in one of the first villages mentions how her friend found a talking chicken and must be lying. Naturally, I tried talking to every chicken I came across from then on, and lo and behold, a talking chicken. I also like this kid. He's funny. From tightly knit corridors run amok with monsters to the depths of dungeons where you're face to face with illustrious demons, Crystal Beans maintains its identity as a serviceable adventure game that nails the fast pace of an action game and the journey of an RPG. While not mind-blowing, it's still worth seeking out, especially with that 3-player capability and the pick up and play style that welcomes players of any experience level. And if you can't quite get enough of this and want more, you're in luck, as it's actually a pseudo-sequel / spin-off of the Dungeon Explorer series for the PC Engine. Of course, getting your hands on a copy of this game isn't the easiest task, especially if you're a purist, as the game is kind of rare with only a few copies on eBay that range from $50 to $150. Plus, it's in Japanese and you really need to read to get through this one. If you don't mind reproductions, then a copy of this game fully translated will only fetch you about $20 to $40 depending on where you look. Or you can simply grab the ROM and the translation patch online. If you're feeling up for an adventure and don't want to go alone, then Crystal Beans from Dungeon Explorer is the game for you.